we go. Give me 1 second.
It's up there. Reset.
Come on,
reset.
All right.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're in the beautiful cabin, episode 59. So glad to have you on today. And in honor of our Ollie's trip that I'm sure we'll get into,
Oh, yeah.
we're all going to pop some warheads. And I had mine pre-opened, but I can't even get it open, bro.
I used to be an absolute champ with sour foods. I used to eat them all the time. Like, it didn't even bother me. Now, these hit.
Oh god,
They make you pucker.
I'm gonna be tweaking. I can't do that.
They're so good.
I just swallowed my other one.
Oh,
You swallowed one?
that hurts,
The
bro.
first one. Because before we started, we all had one. And I was sucking on it. I just swallowed it.
Dude, I'm glad I got sunglasses on because I just went like... it was bad.
That's
Before
what
we
I'm doing right now.
Before we get too much farther, as you guys can see, we got Regs back on. Recurring guest, we had him back on. And,
Third time's a charm with his microphone working.
yeah.
So,
The previous 2 times we've had some issues.
Yeah. Like, we checked this time. You should be good. If not, this is your last time.
Dude, I'm just messing with it. I'm doing something while we're recording if it messes up.
Yeah. And as a guest,
What? Are we gonna...
yeah. You get a tea.
Sweet, man.
yes, so we'll shout this out to any guest. Free tea, you know?
If you come
whenever
on, you get a tea.
And on the topics of teas,
Might as
Let's
well.
just do it now. Let's just do it now.
Do it now.
so,
Well, should we tell about the Ollie's trip first?
yeah, we'll work
We'll
into it.
talk-
We'll work into it.
I'm so excited.
All right, so you know how good, if you've been a listener for a while, if not, go and check out some of our older episodes. But we talked about our first Ollie's trip. It went really well.
That was
And
from the
just
first.
like, Ollie's is this resale store, I
It's a
guess.
bargain outlet.
Yeah, a bargain
Bargain
outlet store. And
What
just
they-
has like awesome, cheap deals.
What they do is most of what they get is they purchased goods that had been damaged in shipping, and not really, the goods haven't been damaged necessarily. It's more so the packaging of those goods. So other bigger brand stores like Walmart or stuff like that, they won't buy those because the packaging is damaged. So Ollie's will buy that for cheaper and then sell it for cheaper for like the same exact product. So it's really awesome. But the thing is, because it's kind of chance what gets damaged and what they can find and buy, it's all random there, which is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, so last time we went, we got like cases of Rockstar energy drinks, super cheap, and it was just awesome. But those kind of ran out. So
Last time was a big trip. We got
yeah, we got a
we got
bunch
the
of this
TIE
stuff
Fighter.
too.
We got a couple things down here, just some general decorations. I don't know why we still have that Twinkies box right there, but we got this little plant
There's still Twinkie in there.
and they're twinking.
Oh god.
We got a few other. We got decorations while we were there, but most of those are
Bring
seasonal.
back the old
so-
nickname.
Yeah, but most of those are seasonal, so they'll probably come back later on.
But yeah.
But one of the big things that we reinvested in was we got a big old tube of Smarties, which we thought looked cool and it tasted great.
But this last trip, when did we go?
We went
Tuesday.
on Tuesday. Yeah,
It was a Tuesday night.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this back actually. This last trip, they had the same tubes, and they had Smarties and everything. They had a few different brands there, but Trey, shout out to him. The man loves Warheads for some reason, like loves them. So he begged to get these when we saw them, and I think it looks just as cool as the Smarties. Looks kind of like 80s retro or something like that.
Yeah. So they're both decorative and
or
practical
hip-hop.
because we
80s
love
hip-hop,
warheads,
Yeah.
bro.
And obviously, yeah, they're filled with warheads.
So
that's
we
what
got
I'm mentioning.
that. We'll put that right here.
But then
The
on
big
top
trip.
of that, we got our big
So
ticket
obviously,
item.
yeah, last time obviously we got Rockstar. We got 24, right?
Yeah, 24 cases
24,
of
and it
Rockstar.
lasted us a while. We put it in the fridge and stocked the fridge. This time, we went up, and you guys know there's one drink that has been very popular on the podcast lately, and that is Arizona Half and Halves. So we got not only one,
Not one. Not two. Not three. Not four. But 4.
12 packs of Arizona. So we have 48. How much are those? 12 fluid ounces?
Yeah.
So 48 12 fluid ounce bottles of Arizona Half and Half.
47
And-
now, actually.
Well, yeah, we did have a couple. Let's have the guess. So, guess how much you think we paid for each one of
You
these.
guys probably paid like $5 for it at Ollie's.
I think it was $6 for
Yeah,
each.
$6 a case.
And if you went anywhere else, it'd be like $9 for something like that.
It'd probably be more than that.
Yeah, I mean, we looked it up on
it's
Amazon. They
probably
were all
about-
looking at like $16 on Amazon, which has a
Yeah.
lot of up.
Because you
Cost
got to
for
remember,
goods.
they're the bottles. Like, if they were a 12-pack of canned 12 fluid ounces, they'd be cheaper, you know? But they're the bottles. Like, they're nicer. You can reuse the bottles.
Those, my guy, if you could. Yeah.
I'm all right.
Thanks, brother.
Arizona, sponsor us.
About to crack a cold one open with Barry here. There we go. Enjoy. Arizona iced tea, bro.
Yeah, but so yeah, these will be in our fridge. Keep our fridge stocked for quite some time.
I got a little story, too. So, Trey was the one that drove to this Ollie's trip. So, we put all the teas in it. We put all the teas in his car. And I was like, you want me to take him, Trey? I can take him to the pod. He's like, no, I'll just keep him in my trunk. And then next time I go out to the pod, won't let him there. I'm like, all right, fine. Trey couldn't make it tonight. So I'm like, yo, Trey, is there any way I can, he was working, any way I can pick up the teas? And obviously he was working, so he didn't text me back. And I like texted him like 10 minutes before I left, so he didn't have much time. So I'm like, I'm just gonna do it. I know where he works. So I drove to where he works, stopped, went out to his car, opened up his car, got his keys, popped the trunk. Open it up. I don't see the teas. I just see clothes and bags of track stuff. And I'm gonna call you out a little bit, Trey. It reeked. It smelled bad. That thing was filled to the brim with all of this dirty track clothes that were still in the bag. Like, it was not good. I'm like, if our teas have just been simmering in this, it's not gonna be good. I lift up the clothes and there they are. I pulled them all out, and the Warhead candy was too. And that trunk was not fresh smelling. So I told Isaiah, I'm like, I don't even know if I want to put my lips on those bottles.
They've been marinating
Yeah.
a little bit.
Some extra flavor.
And a stinky stench.
But we got them. Do they smell bad?
No, it smells like tea.
Okay. So I guess they're not bad. They're probably fine.
Tastes like tea.
We got our teas because our fridge is out completely empty. Our mini fridge in the cabin, so we're going to completely refill it.
Yeah, it's gonna be stocked to the brim.
Yeah, we'll probably
We'll have
run out of
leftovers,
room.
I think.
Yeah.
Honestly, I cannot wait to re-listen to this episode. So I went swimming today. My right ear is so clogged with water right now, I cannot hear a word Devin's saying. So all the blessed words coming out of that man's mouth, I'll have to listen to him later.
That's not good, dude.
I'm the same way. My left ear
Yeah.
still has water in it.
My right one's just.
Do you guys want
Gone.
an ear infection?
Hmm?
You,
Ear infection.
Well, I'm gonna try to
I probably
do.
won't get one.
Jacob, I could take my old
Honestly.
hand pump out again for
yeah,
air.
dude, get the
if you
water
want.
out, bro.
I don't know if we talked about that before,
I
but that
think
was probably the worst decision of mine.
We got
What?
to.
Young
we gotta
life.
talk about that.
We
gotta
were
talk
swimming
about
at
that.
Isaiah's one time, and I'm in the same situation. I wasn't very educated on how to handle these things. But tonight, when I'll get back, I'll probably, I think if you mix peroxide with water, maybe do like a, I guess like 20%
A
peroxide,
solution or
rest
something.
water, put it in like a cotton ball, and put the cotton ball in your ear. It helps drain your ear and whatnot. So I'll try to do whatever my mom recommends. But we're at Isaiah's. This was probably when we were like, I don't know, freshmen,
Yeah.
because it was a drama pool party, and I got a really bad ear infection. So he had this pump that.
Well, we tried
Feels-
peroxide before this, by the
yeah,
way.
yeah.
So this was like the last ditch effort to bring this
Yeah,
man any
last
degree
ditch
of
effort.
comfort before we were like, all right, we're just gonna go to sleep and leave you awake all night in sufferance.
Yeah.
So all right, go ahead.
So however this pump works, it has two modes. One, pushes out air. Sucks it in some way, pushes out air. The other way, it pulls in air, like deflates something.
You can like flip the handle around and it just like switches up the airway. So if you go down and up, it'll suck in the entire time into the pump and just like
Yeah.
out through an exhaust or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's all hand. It's just all plastic. So
Yeah, and this thing has like a needle tip point because you have to be able to put it into the pool floaties. So, I don't know, I had water in my ear, so us smart cookies, we put this thing into my ear.
geniuses back
And
then.
we start
just
pumping it
suck
up.
the water out.
Yeah.
Because that's clearly the issue. It's just sitting right on his eardrum, obviously.
We changed the inlet, and I swear to God, dude, my eardrum pulled out like 3 inches, ruptured my eardrum, and I had like, 1, I was deaf in that ear for like a week, and 2, like god awful ringing. Like not only could I not hear,
T-
it was like
tinnitus? Is that what it's called? When you get ringing in your ear? Is that tinnitus?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
That's a thing, though. It starts with a T.
Yeah, and it was just horrific. That took like a week and a half to recover.
Dude, ear
But-
infections.
You recovered.
I recovered. Well, maybe this is probably some lingering effects from that night. The fact that it gets plugged so easy.
I've had an ear infection before, and it sucked.
What's the statute of limitations for accidental assault? Or
Like
harm
6
to-
months or something.
Yes.
No, maybe
I
6
think-
years.
I think. Oh, well, just hold off for a bit longer, buddy. 2 more years. I'll be safe.
Yeah.
It may or may not have been my
I
idea.
probably won't press charges.
If you do, I know where you sleep, bro. And I still got that pump.
I'll press charges on that too, bro.
Jacob's like sleeping.
That's not a threat. That's a
You know what this
promise.
sounds like?
It sounds like ringing to me.
Yeah, sounds like a week of pain. Oh,
No, I don't think it ever got infected per se. It's
You want-
just my eardrum
do you want to
ruptured.
talk about what else happened that night?
With what? There's so much happened that night. We watched the worst horror movie I ever see. Like I fell asleep midway through
What's
this horror
that?
movie. It was so bad.
I don't know.
Also, because I was in extreme pain, so I just,
Yeah, you just
I wasn't
wanted to
with
get out, bro. Here, I'll get into it. So, it's a pool party, right? And I don't know why or what compelled me to search this or like look this up, but at some point online, like on like Amazon or whatever I was on, I happened across like the most insane amount of ducks that you can buy in bulk ever. That's not like without being like an industry, just like buying ducks or like Walmart or something.
Like a rubber duck?
Yeah, rubber
rubber
ducks.
duckies.
Sorry, rubber ducks,
Say,
not
like,
actual
I'm
ducks.
like-
Way big,
I thought he was talking
like
about
fit-
real
Yeah,
size.
just
Yeah.
a classic rubber duck is the first one I found, right? And I'm looking, I'm like, oh, low key, like that'd be kind of sick. Like we have a big bathtub, you know, right across the street that we just
also
put
called
in.
a pool.
Yeah, that we just put in. Well, you know, rubber ducks go in bathtubs. I'm like, it kind of works. I'm like, oh, imagine putting like 20 of those things in there, and then I look at the price, and it's like $10 for
Yeah.
like 50 of these things.
And real quick, 20 turned to 200.
Yes, and we actually bought them. Like, I probably spent an embarrassing amount of money on ducks that I still have, by the way. Still have ducks. And I thought it would be cool because I knew I was having a pool party, and I immediately thought it'd be really cool to have all these ducks and just surprise everybody by having like 200 ducks just floating about in the pool.
That would be cool.
More.
And I went overboard.
More.
No, it was more. I went overboard too because I ended up buying a huge inflatable duck that like 3 people could sit on too. That was in the middle. We had a big swan. It was a whole thing. And some of these no 3 ducks were alike.
Yeah, they were all different.
They were all like little night ducks. They're like Minecraft ducks. We got some cow, pig ducks.
like
We got some
nurses,
like, owls
and
kind of
medics.
things.
It
We have
was
the
very odd.
There was one that was like slightly larger than the rest. I don't remember buying it, but it was a Statue of Liberty, and then there were like princesses and stuff like that. It was really really cool. I got you. There you go.
Yeah.
And then so yeah, when the party rolled around, it was really cool. It was actually a hit, and we ended up like lining them up all around the pool. And I think I have a video at somewhere. Someone has a video of like just going through along the side of the pool and just like getting a panorama of like every single duck. And it's a long video.
But we
to
had
get
all
through
these
of them.
ducks, and we're having a pool party. So what else? What better to start doing with them than start whipping them at each other?
And it was the best. Don't want to point fingers. Don't name names. Some of them made it painful.
Yeah, some people had fun with it.
Some
it was
others,
playful.
like me, yeah. I woke up with like 4 clear duck imprints on my body.
yeah, past the point of welts.
Yeah, it was bad, but it was still really fun. You know what I mean? And there were just so much ammunition.
Yeah.
So I think the first funny thing that I should mention is that I still find ducks around outside of the fenced area of my pool. It's our property. I still I'll be mowing or like I'll be weed eating, and one will just appear. It's been 4 years, and it'll just appear.
Yeah.
Or like my sister who lives in that house that is connected, that has the pool with it. She'll come out and she'll like walk over to our house, which is across the street. She'll be like, "You looking for something?" I'm like, "Where did you even find that?"
Not
She's
really.
like, "She's like, I was like washing the bathroom." She just showed up in there. So they're still showing up, and we have a big tub of them all. So that's funny that they just still appear today. And something else that happened, Jacob can tell because
Yeah.
it involved him heavily.
Yeah, so later we were just like, I don't know, it got to like total war. Like some people were outside of the pool, but there was like 4 of us guys in the pool. And then it was like all the girls outside of the pool. And we were in the pool, and we had like the giant duck floaty that Isaiah mentioned
It was
earlier.
the only protection we
And then
had.
like we had a couple other floaties.
And the
So we had
water,
like
I
kind of a fort built up, I guess, in the middle of the pool. kind of protecting ourselves from absolute hellfire of ducks. Everyone's just whipping ducks in at us.
it was Armageddon,
Yeah,
bro. It was scary.
insane. And we weren't really retaliating because it was all the girls throwing it back. But I don't even know. I think someone threw one, or I may have threw one, and it hit Isaiah's girlfriend at the time. Hit her, and she went just like haywire.
When we say hit, we're talking about us throwing.
Yeah.
We're like not throwing haymakers.
Chilling,
we're not
though.
throwing knuckleballs. We're literally like we're trying to make contact with like a line throw. We're not trying to give welts or anything.
Yeah.
And this is
Yeah,
like
so I didn't,
bounced
like,
off
nail
a
or
person,
anything.
hit the ground, it bounced up because it's a duck, and it hit her like in the shoulder or something.
And she's going crazy. And to start, absolutely, really, she's a softball pitcher. So she was doing her softball form in there.
she's, like, winding
drilling
up
me.
and
I'm
stuff.
like, oh, Lord, have some mercy. So I knew I had to get out of the pool. So I hop out of the pool. I run through out the gate. And she starts chasing me. I'm like, oh, no, this is very bad. This is very bad.
It's dark outside
Yeah,
too.
pitch
It's very
black
dark
outside. I'm running, and I run all the way around. It's a fenced-in pool. I run around the pool, and we're still on their property. And there's a piece of metal, like siding, laying on the ground.
It's a tin roof, so
Yeah.
it's relatively flat and a few ridges like a few feet apart from each other.
And it got pretty dewy outside, so it's wet. This thing is coated with water. I'm sprinting. I slip on it with my heel, but I'm able to like slide kind of like, so I slip, fall on my butt, and I slide, and my foot hits the end of the tinfoil. So I pop right up. It was pretty smooth, if I have to say so myself.
I saw the whole thing.
Yeah.
Jacob was the only smooth one there.
Yeah, so I go
I
around the
walked around.
corner. I turn the corner, and I'm like, wait a second. I got to see this. I turn around, see her coming at me. Her heel hits that thing. Bro, it looked like a cartoon, bro. She like flipped up all the way onto her head, fell straight down, like bonked her noggin, flopped her body on this tinfoil sheet, and I'm like,
was so
oh
bad.
my god.
After I get done laughing, I go to help her up. She doesn't even say anything. She like grunts and then starts sprinting after Jamie. I see her around the corner go, "Huh," and then run around
Yeah.
again, and it keeps going.
I think at that point I was able to get into the house, and I
he
just
locked
locked
himself
myself
in the bathroom.
Yeah,
for like
locked
half
myself
an
in the
hour.
bathroom.
She was patrolling that hallway, bro. She was waiting. She had like 4 ducks in her hands, waiting with like a shotgun blast. It was so funny. Yeah, it was exactly like a cartoon. But that's
Yeah.
how did we get on that? Ducks.
I don't know.
Ducks.
That may be,
pool.
like,
your ear. Yeah.
Top 10 decisions of my life.
Was to
Stopping
wait
to
and
turn
watch
around
that.
and watch that, bro.
It was so funny.
Oh.
That's such quick thinking too. Like you just did something like, wait, this could turn out bad for her.
Yeah. And I'm so sorry. But I saw Jacob slip and I didn't say anything either. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Jacob
let
got up, so I'm like,
let
well,
this roll.
maybe she'll go around it, but maybe she won't.
I mean, could have been pretty bad. Like if you didn't step directly onto that, like if you're kind of sliding your foot through and kick the edge of that, tinfoil.
It was thick.
Yeah.
It was thick.
So yeah, I don't know if
Because
it would have sliced you.
I
but
put that thing there. It was a while ago, but I put it there, and then we put the siding up.
I know. I was just
So
glad I stepped like on the midsection of
Yeah,
it.
I remember it wasn't like real thin aluminum or tin or anything, so it wasn't anything to be worried about. But slipping,
But it was very slick.
yeah, I think it might have dented. We never did use that piece, but I don't think we needed it anyway. So sorry.
But going back to ear infections, there was a few years ago where me and my family, we go down to Cumberland Lake in Kentucky, and we go boating a couple times a summer usually. So there was one weekend we went down, and obviously I was swimming around. And like on the last day, maybe like the day before, I felt like water get in my ear, and it's one of those like you can't get it out. And I'm always really good at getting water out because I hate water being in my ears. And I like have a good method to get them out like right away though. So like I don't know if it'll work for you, but I know like a jump you do with like a little head jolt, and it works. You do it a couple of times, but it comes out. Anyway, some reason I tried, and either I couldn't get it or I just didn't try. So I just kind of like left it in. And after you have water in your ear for so long, it kind of feels like it just goes away. You don't really feel it anymore.
It just kind of dries.
Yeah, but then
It feels like that.
yeah. Then a few days later, I start having like bad ear pain. I'm like, this kind of sucks. So I go out through the day, and it's just not terrible. It's a little something. I might have took like a little, what do you call it, like a Aleve or Advil or whatever.
Oxycontin, yeah.
Tylenol.
Heroin, or no, but just a little painkiller. But then that night, I go to bed, and I wake up like at 2:00. I am screaming. I'm not actually screaming, but I am writhing in pain, like sheer agony. I did not sleep that entire night. Like I went up and I went to the living room couch just to try to like change it up because I just couldn't sit in my room anymore in my bed. I was just sitting there like holding on to my ear. My ear is just in so much pain. I don't know how I survived the night. It was terrible. Like, I remember that being one of the worst experiences of my life. Like, it was bad. So then the next morning, I was like, Mom, my ear is in so much pain. And then we went to the doctor. He's like, yeah, you just got a little ear infection. And then I think they I think they just give you like a few drops that you're supposed to put in your ear. And it's probably some
Antimicrobial, antibacterial, or something like that.
It's probably some liquid that dries it up, basically, and kills the infection or whatever. But in a few days, it was healed. And I'm like, I will never, ever let water sit in my ear again.
You know what it sounds like? It sounds like somebody could have used an air pump.
Yeah, bro. I never got an ear infection.
Yeah, because you pulled your eardrum out. There's nothing to infect.
It hurt a little bit, and then it got better. It just takes a little bit.
See, I'm not worried about getting an ear infection because I was swimming in like a chlorinated pool.
Yeah.
But you were swimming in like a lake.
With like brain-eating amoebas and stuff.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. I think you can still get an ear infection just from even chlorinated water.
Yeah, I mean like birds pooping water and stuff like that.
But I've probably had this. I mean, I've been swimming at this pool my entire life, like the past 12, 13 years of my life. So ever since I could swim. So I've had this happen to me like hundreds of times. But now that my body's getting older, maybe I might start getting infections.
What about you, Luke? You ever had an ear infection or water?
Yeah, I mean, similar story to Devin. It was just like, I went and swam over in Plyman's Pond on like the last day of school this past year, or maybe it was the year before. No, it was the year before because we got out on COVID, whenever COVID hit. And I had similar instance where I just let water sit in my ear. It was probably in my ear for like a day and a half or 2 days. And it finally came out when I went to bed one night, and then I just woke up and it was gone. And then like a day or so later it started to come, and it didn't really bother me at first, but I wound up telling my mom about it, and it wasn't really all that painful, but my mom ended up convincing me to go to the ER, and they flushed my whole ear out with like a drainage system or whatever, and it kind of got rid of itself before it got really bad.
Yeah, you could use one of those, bro.
I've never had like, at least, you know, as far as I can remember, I don't know if my parents would say any different from like when I was like a toddler or whatever, but I've never had like an ear infection. I've never had water stay like absurdly long in my ear or anything like that, like nothing longer than a day or anything. So I think I've gotten pretty lucky with that. Maybe I just got like small ear holes or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Blessed
I think it'd be
by
opposite.
genetics.
Probably big. Well,
if it's either way, I don't know how it works, man.
yeah, I don't know.
But I've never done like Jacob was talking about, or I guess your family was talking about this earlier today. I just heard it like in passing. I've never done any sort of like earwax draining or cleaning, or I've never done that. But then I go to my physical that we were talking about. I did a physical and a drug test. We talked about that on the last pod. Go hit it up if you haven't watched it. And like in any physical, they check your ears. I don't know what they check for, but they check your ears, and they're like, yeah, super clear. Like, man, it's all good. So like, is there like different buildup for different
I've
people?
thought about that too, because I know there's some people where like, you've seen those TikTok clips that are real satisfying where they clean out people's ears and they pull out massive chunks of earwax.
And they're like, oh, this is so bad.
Yeah.
But I've never cleaned out my ears.
I'm like,
how do I not have that?
I've never done it either.
How do I not have that blockage?
I know, that's what I'm saying.
So confused. Does the Sandman come and take it out for me? I don't know.
I mean, your ear might just naturally like not build up
Break
as
it
much,
down.
and I'm sure there's some system of how it cleans itself.
There's something that breaks down,
Yeah.
guaranteed.
But my brother will have really bad earwax that like he has to get it kind of cleaned and pulled
Gotcha.
out because he'll stop hearing very well.
So
Yeah.
so it is like, you know, per person, I guess, kind of.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just like,
But I've heard the same thing where like people who do have earwax build up, like they don't really realize it, but it's just a slow over time they get more and more earwax, and then they go and get it like taken out, like just because it's it's time.
do they, like,
just
hear
thought they
so
could,
much, like,
and
clear?
and then they do realize like, wow, I could not hear before. They hear so much better. So I'm interested because maybe I do have quite a bit of
Oh, it's
earwax
like- it's
deep
like
in
the-
there.
it's like the frog thing, right?
Do you notice that?
If
Do you notice yourself like cleaning your ears with your fingers very much?
Yeah,
Oh.
but I
That
can't
does
get very
work.
deep.
It does.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you
sometimes
take out earwax.
when I get out of the shower, like they'll feel a little funky, so I'll, like you know, I'll give it like one swipe, and then I'll like take a paper towel or whatever. But that is it. Like I don't.
Well, some people tell me that. Well, so
I don't
this
use,
is
I don't
something.
Use, I don't use Q-tips either
Yeah, those
because
are
they're not supposed to do it.
Yeah,
I don't know what
stop
they're
using
used
them
for,
'cause
but I stopped using Q-tips a long time
But
ago.
if you do, so this is what my dad's always told me. He said if you take hot showers, like, kind of like softens
Mhm.
the earwax in your ears, and it can come out then.
Mm.
So, but We were at some like physical sometime. He mentioned that to the doctor, and she was like, "No, never do that," because she was taking it as like you like put your ear so a direct shot gets in it. That's how she was taking it, but I don't think.
I feel like just like a hot or like a humid,
just a
and
humid
wet
shower can
environment
soften it.
will soften it.
It might
and
come
it'll-
out
Yeah,
a little bit.
Well, yeah. Like, how does it break down? Does it get real sandy and just kind of like billow out of the ear, or does it like,
Yeah, it could crust.
or does it just like,
Well,
if it gets like hot enough, because it is wax, does it just like kind of like melt and just like come out with water,
yeah, that
like
could.
just like standing in a
Yeah.
shower?
I bet a lot more comes down the shower
I
than
think
you
just
realize
more,
just when you're washing your body.
Because I guess either if it gets dusty or if it kind of like melts away, it gets soft enough and just flows with it, it'll come out either way.
Yeah.
So that's probably how it is. I just take hot showers, I suppose.
It could
Yeah.
drain back into your body somehow.
Like it could be like
That's true.
Like what do you call it?
Just
Just kind of like how you get acne, like just your pores kind of just like soak it in, kind of.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But
Could,
but
like,
isn't
like your
earwax
snot
meant to
could
keep
kinda-
dirt out? I don't
Yeah.
think it would soak in. I think it would like grab the dirt and then like drain it out if it can. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to look it up and get back to you. We got
Yeah.
4 minutes left though, so it's not that big of a deal.
Okay.
But I was gonna say that with the hearing thing, I like how like when earwax builds up and people like slowly like lose
They
their
don't-
hearing
and they
a
don't
little bit, but they
realize
don't
it, yeah.
notice it. Have you ever heard the thing about frogs? Like if you put them in a pot of cold water and
Yeah,
slowly
yeah.
boil it, they won't jump out. But obviously, if you throw them in hot water, like boiling water, they'll jump out immediately. But I guess like if you put them in cold water and you slowly turn the heat up,
They'll stay in there until they die.
they'll stay in there until they die. And I guess we probably know. I don't know if their nerves are like less advanced than ours. They just like don't. Their sense of change is
Very
like more mellow than ours is, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it's not
it'd
that
be-
big of a difference than what it was
It has
before.
it has something to do with them just being cold blooded and their blood.
Oh, their oh yeah,
The temperature of their blood
their
can
inner
change.
blood temperature adjusts,
Yeah.
but at some point it's too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is kind of a funny story, but sometimes at Scouts, what we do is
Oh.
we let should we say this or no?
I'm
not even-
ashamed of this, bro.
This
What?
is shame.
It's
this
them.
is shame.
It's not us.
That's true. I have denounced this since the first time I've
Yeah,
seen them do
yeah.
it. And
I
they do
have
this with
too.
snails and stuff like that. I've denounced this. Although we've talked about the slugs, I'll go to war with slugs any day.
So if you want to hear that, tune back in for our next segment, and we'll let you know.
Indeed. See you in the next bit.
Give me a second, I
need to get my story straight.
What was that song that we were parodying the other day, Jacob? That was so fun. We have to do that on the pod. Oh,
I
it
know
was
what it
was
is.
it Redbone?
No.
Hooked on a feeling.
Yeah, hooked on a feeling.
Hooked on a feeling. We were parodying it and it was so fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can do
Like,
it
we were
because the
just
tune is
free-
like
Yeah.
we were freestyling.
We were
but it was so
freestyling
funny.
it. We were like subbing in words. It was freaking hilarious.
And tied to a chair. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Is there anyone there who can help me? It was so good.
What beautiful vocals.
Thank you. I've been practicing.
A correction we need to make, by the way, the teas that we bought are 16 ounces,
Yes.
not 12 ounces. I was gonna say because they look bigger than just a normal can, so they're 16 ounce.
So
Credit.
way more bang for our buck than we thought.
Credit for that.
Wait, do you have a timer going?
Oh yeah, internal
I
clock.
didn't remember that.
Good
Internal
catch, dude.
I just
boy.
remembered that.
Credit-
Give this man another Arizona.
Credit to Law Regs for being so good with numbers.
Just make sure you cut off like 2 minutes or whatever. Just be safe. Something like that.
well, we ended like 3 minutes early on.
Well, the
though.
camera shuts off at 30 minutes no matter
I
what.
always forget that. Yeah,
I mean, we'll notice
I
if
mean,
it shuts
that's
off.
why we
right,
do the
I'll
timer.
just quit.
Yeah, that's
The
true.
screen,
Yeah.
the thing will go black.
But
Yeah,
no,
very
shout out to Regs for being so good with numbers, bro. Like get that timer on there. Get that extra 4 ounces on there. My man. So you're going into a
Yeah,
concept,
Reg,
right? We were
Reg.
talking about it.
Talk us through your passion,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I think
With
this is
your, like,
really
your career
cool. Like,
choices and what you're going into.
yeah,
'Cause
not everyone
I'm
gets to
really-
experience this. It's really interesting.
I'm really hyped with what you're thinking about right now.
Yeah, so talk us through it.
All right, so since I've been like a sophomore in high school, I saw like some accounting classes I wanted to take, and then junior year I took an accounting class, and I really thought that that's what I wanted to go into, and I got into college. Stuck through it like through senior year. I took another accounting class. I took a intro to business class and a principles of banking class, and it kind of started to like die off. Like I wasn't as into it at the end of senior year as I was to start off, and then just randomly at work the other day, one of my bosses tells me that she thinks I would be a really good intermediate level math teacher. and I've really had sort of like a changing of heart, and I may completely change my idea or my
ambition,
ambition before I even get in
everything.
college, and that might help out quite a bit. Instead of going like 2 years in accounting or something, that's going to save me a ton of money. And if I change my mind 2 years through college, like I could not. When she said it, I got chills down my back. I'm like, I could see that. I mean, I gotta really think about that. I mean, have you guys ever had anything like that, or have you guys had anything similar with your ambitions for college or anything?
Epiphany.
Yeah,
that's
pretty
a
much.
that's a great word for it.
I was gonna say I'm bringing back word of the day. By the way, epiphany. What a good word. We all know what it means.
It was a bad day when we lost word of the day.
I know. We'll bring it back. I'm sorry. I'm back on the grind. We'll get it up.
I feel like I started watching after that after the word of the day thing was even a thing. 'Cause I don't know
I
what
think
the
it
fuck
happened
you're talking
once
about.
in like the teens, and
Yeah,
it
word-
happened
word-
again.
no.
I
word
didn't
of the-
start watching until like 30s,
yeah,
probably.
Word of the day was in the cabin. I think we had a couch, but it was only like 2 episodes. I gotta bring it back because that was cool. When
Bro, we need
talked
to
about
make like 10 things that go in a spinner. Like one of them could be word of the day or something.
yeah,
We just
we need to
spin
go
the
with those
spinner.
topics that we have. And sometimes we still pull from those topics. At least I do mentally, and we just kind of get into them. But we need to make those like real small events that we insert. But yeah. What Luke's saying, I've been really inspired by. Obviously, I'm a history buff and stuff like that, and I like history. But I always liked the thing that I liked about history was all like the inspiring people and like the inspiring stories and like the against all odds kind of deals and stuff like that. And like the lessons that you can take away, and that comes from like shout out to like all of our history teachers that have been so great, from Larmy and stuff like that. So this goes out to you, and they always have a lesson to learn. I know one of our history teachers who always found a way to be energetic and make like every single lesson fun. There was a sign at the top of his door that you looked at every time you left the door, and it says like, when you leave this classroom, I want you to have an idea of the world around you, or like a better sense of the world around you and your place in it, which is, I mean, that's true. That's really what history is for, right? But at that time, I didn't think I really wanted to be a history teacher. I just knew, like, looking at all these inspiring people that, like, first of all, I think it's pretty reasonable to assume that, like, everybody wants to leave, like, their mark on the world, you know what I mean? So, like, I thought it would be pretty cool to, like, you know, be in a history book, or like at least be the character that like a town or something remembers, or like, you know what I mean? So I thought that would be cool, and I was thinking about that, and like obviously
shape the future in a way.
yeah, and like the best way to do that is just like help people. And I always thought that was really cool too, obviously. And that gives you such like a good feeling and all that stuff. And I've always been big into like philosophy and psychology, and I'm sure people have picked up from that just from like how I talk, or the topics we talk about on the pod sometimes. So I thought for a long time I was going into psychology, because, you know, that's a great way to help people. And that's like so many psychologists are like, you know, dip into philosophy, and, you know, all these cool like resources to pull from. And you have such a wide variety of things to do, I guess. But then like school's kind of long for that. It's a lot of money for that. And then like when you really think about it, like you can only really help the people that can afford it, which is, you know, kind of a downside to it. And so I was kind of struggling with whether I wanted to do that or not, because it was so much schooling and all that stuff. And I one day, I don't think anyone really told me it, but I was probably in just like a math class, and I was chilling, and it was like an interesting lesson or something. I thought like, I could probably do this. And I don't know if I got chills, but I get like the whole rest of the day was like a runner's high for me, basically, where I'm like, oh, I could so do this. And it's so easy. I don't think I've ever forgotten like a history, not like a lesson, but like, it's so easy for me to just like recall something or like a concept about history. So like the actual material part wouldn't be hard for me. Like math, like we're with Luke with math and numbers. It's not, you're just good at it. You know what I mean? But it's like the lesson part and like teaching kids and helping kids is like the bigger part. So I still get like excited sometimes when I think about it.
Yeah. And I also wanted to mention my Uncle Jim made a really good point. He said I could go to school for business with like a minor in accounting, and then just afterwards get my teaching degree, and I would be like, those accounting classes would pretty much cover everything I would need to teach, and all I have to do is get a license to teach, and I would be able to teach those classes if I chose to do so. So
Yeah, just got to pass the test. I believe there's a standardized test you got to pass to become a teacher.
whichever way I go,
Yeah.
I could be a teacher or I could be an accountant. It just depends on how I feel in college.
Yeah.
I don't want to be one of those accountants that sits and does taxes all the dang time. That just sounds awful.
Dude, I don't know if they're exactly how they're portrayed in the movies, but they always look so depressed. Like anytime there's a movie that like centers around like the underdog or something, they always start off as a lame accountant in a cubicle that everyone steps over and they just like don't speak up for themselves or anything. But a teacher is always so inspiring. I think teaching stories are always so much better.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of spots you can go with accountants. There's accountants that are
Well, true, you
big
could-
and
you
they
could go-
make the decisions
You could go above and beyond.
because
Like,
they know the numbers.
what is it? What is the thing before CEO? FME?
COO?
CFO,
Yeah,
CFO.
CFO.
And
Chief
then, like,
Financial Officer.
CFOs are like the most common people to be CEOs after so long, because they're not even like they're like
Yeah.
50% of the power. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like a treasurer and an auditor or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, because they know the numbers.
Yeah.
What about you two? You guys are like huge into like business and like financial and stuff like that. And you guys talk about it all the time. And I'm always interested, but I don't, my brain just can't commit to it.
I've been that way for as long as I can remember.
My brain cannot commit to it as much.
Since I've grown up, I like just want to lead. I want to run things.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have a drive for power inside of me. I've learned like I
My
want
man
power,
wants to be an
dude.
entrepreneur.
I want to be an entrepreneur, CEO. See, I'll be a CFO. I want to manage. I want to be in charge. I want to lead. Bring others with me.
See, and I feel the same way. Like, if we ever had like projects in school, I like to be the leader.
Mm.
But like, if somebody else was taking charge, I would just sit there and shut up. Be like, I'll just wait for my turn. But I feel like I've kind of just had a natural want to lead, and being a teacher, you kind of fill that role.
Yeah.
You got to lead a class at least. You
Yeah.
have to be in
Yeah.
charge, and
You're
I kind of like the look
you're
on
very
that.
much, if you're good at what you do, you're very much in control of your domain. And a lot of our teachers have that effect on, students, which is something that we've all learned. I feel like we just picked up because they're role models in a way. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like everybody has a certain like drive to, be in control. Because obviously if you're like a follower your whole life, it can't feel amazing. You know what I mean? Like you're never, unless you 100% agree with all the decisions made ever, you're never going to be satisfied with some outcomes, and even though you have to follow it out. So yeah, I get entirely what you're saying, which is why I think, I don't know, that one other factor about teaching, I think, which I mentioned yesterday, I don't know if you remember or not, but like you have the summer for a side hobby. You can do whatever you want. You have so much freedom to do a side hobby or get a job that you're like kind of interested in this. So over the summer, if you want to be like a part-time accountant for a firm or something,
Yeah.
like you could do that.
And summertime is like, I mean, it's kind of in the dead year of the accounting. Accounting picks up like January, February, March, April, but then
Makes sense. That makes
it's
sense.
dead like May through August because it's not tax season anymore.
That makes
it's
sense.
The end, and it's just going through like the second and third quarter of the year. So it's not super interesting at that point, but I could still see where you're coming. Like you could definitely still pick up
Yeah.
on it and do it as a side hustle for the summer.
Yeah.
Like I do like something I started to do is I know this Jacob's cousin, such a sweet little guy, and I love him to death. And he picked up, he's going into the grade in elementary, you can start band, right? You can pick up an instrument. And he wanted to pick up the saxophone, which is what I played because they had a spare saxophone. So he was super excited, and he knew I played saxophone. He asked me to tutor him and like help him over the summer so he's ready for 5th grade, which by the way, shouts out to him for being proactive.
It's pretty awesome.
I don't think I even started playing until like 2 days into 5th grade because I don't even know. I had one. I didn't even look. I didn't even know what a saxophone looked like when I picked it.
I have two funny stories about that. The first one was band is 5th grade year because that's where we started our school, 5th grade and 6th grade. I was on the fence. I didn't really want to do it, and the time came when like the band season started and you start practicing, and I didn't join, and I was sitting there. But I have 5 other cousins that are in my grade. Like I got a big family on that side, on both sides, but these ones all went to school. So there's 5 other cousins, and they were all in the band, and they're like, guys, we got to get Devin to finish out the family. Like we got to get him, and they kept like nagging me. And this was like a few months after they started, and they're like, still, you can join. And I went up and like, can I still join? And then the teacher's like, yeah, you can still join. I join, I play it. all 5th and 6th grade, all junior high, all high school. Absolutely love it. I got the Dorothy Geisy Award, which is like one where you get your name in the plaque on the band room and whatever for my grade. And so it was cool. It was like.
But how many people in your family finished out?
None, I don't think. That's the thing.
It entirely flipped. I was thinking about that. Like, yeah,
it was the only one.
What was
weird.
it? You had like
Yeah,
Emily Holthouse and Derek.
me, Emily, Derek, Clara, Ava, Jason.
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah, they all
Yeah.
quit.
But
That's all of them. Yeah.
But yeah, so and actually yesterday was my first day tutoring him, and it went like I went in there entirely unprepared. The only thing I did was I texted and I made sure that he had like, for a saxophone you need to read to play, and you have to get it just right, like in a perfect condition. It's kind of gross, but you have to like have it in your mouth. You got to get it wet. You have to like make sure it's bendable, and like you have to be able to put pressure on it and everything. Blah 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 blah. I'm like, hey, make sure you have one, and make sure it's the right like strength and like the right thickness and all that stuff. Like, make sure you can play tomorrow, and then we'll start there. And I was not prepared at all except for that. I had my whole case with all my music, which by the way, shout out to me for keeping all my music, because I had elementary stuff for him to play, and I was so proud. And they ordered a new book too, which is going to help. And we got there, and I'm like, all right, well, what do you know? He's like, well, I know 3 notes. And Whitney, his sister, like told him, he's like, she's told him to do like just like focus on these 3 notes. And this man was like on the grindstone, and it's hard to pick up something so hard right away. It was like his 3rd time practicing or something, I'm guessing. And he's making a few noises here and there. I'm like, I had 1 hour with him. By the end of the hour, he was holding 4 beats of like a solid note. It was a little like airy here and there, but he was holding solid beats. And I took a blank sheet of paper. I drew out some staffs. I like gave him like different things to read, and I like labeled the notes. I'm like, all right, can you tell what these are? He's like, I can. I'm like, bless. Can you know these notes? He's like, yes. All right, this is your homework. Do this at least once. He's like, I'm gonna do it every day. Yeah. So I'm thinking maybe if I can advertise myself a little bit, I could do that too on the side, which would be cool. If I could pick up the piano and be like a music tutor for kids in the summer, that'd be kind of cool. Yeah. Or like after school. I guess I have to do a sport though, being a history teacher. That would be fun.
It's a funny story because my coworker is like doing the exact thing you guys are talking about right now. He originally went to school to be an accountant, and he took like a year, maybe 2, maybe like a year and a half of classes, and he said he absolutely hated it. He's like, I can't do this anymore. And he switched to like a math teacher. But then again, he was like he wanted to be a younger teacher of like, you know, like below junior high and below. So those teachers can kind of like do everything, you know, because usually you can teach all.
Yeah, those
subjects.
are odd. Yeah,
because like you know, like 5th grade science is like
and
still kind of college, not common knowledge.
Isn't it
stuff.
like 5th and 6th grade, if I remember right, they have like math, science, and social studies, but they all teach like English and the homeroom. So you do reading and all that. Yeah. So they kind of do.
And that was the new thing. Like when we were in 1st and 2nd grade, the older kids were not doing that. But once we got there, they kind of started.
Those teachers in homeroom taught everything.
Oh,
but they're like, we got to prepare you for the real world, which is high school, which is prepared for college, which is it's giving you a degree. So I don't know. I don't think it did much, but now I guess they can narrow it down, which helps the teachers maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's talking about the same thing where he said like, yeah, I'll probably work this job that he's working now at Scott's Miracle Grow as merchandise. Like, I'll probably work this for the rest of my life. And we're like,
what?
I mean, it's not a bad job.
Because it's side, yeah?
Yeah, because it's just a summer thing. Like, it's a pretty enjoyable job. And with, honestly, there's good people. Like, hopefully we'll be, like, once we all leave, like all of his friends, basically all of us, he may switch. But as of right now, he's like, I plan to just do this every summer. And you get a raise every year, like that's guaranteed, and it varies from 50 cents to $1, which is like after 10 years, you get a few nice raises. Like,
well, almost covers half of inflation.
At that point.
That is pretty. That's really
it'll
nice.
add up, and by the end, like there's a guy that's worked there for like 15 years. Like he's easily making good money full time, even though it's still hourly. Like he's got a good hourly wage. So he's like, yeah, I'll probably just do this for the rest of my life. Every year, get a little bit of a bump. Do it for the summer.
That is really, really, really nice.
So, and then you'll teach.
I'm excited. There's just so much freedom with just like, how do I want to create my own revenue in this like 3-month period of time where I don't have my main job
And and still keep in mind, as a teacher, you get paid monthly. So
Yeah, you still
he's
get
still making
checks through the
he's,
summer.
Yeah, he's still making money as a teacher during the summer. It's
Yeah.
just
It's really nice.
Yeah, because it's all spread out over the year.
Yeah, people dog on teacher salaries sometimes, and in some places it's not that good. But you have to account that you don't work for 3 months and you're getting paid for it.
Right.
Yeah.
So
That is
you,
nice.
you got to balance it
Yeah,
out.
like they do have a low wage, but then
Yeah.
again, they don't work that many hours.
It's
They
not
get summers
laborious.
off.
It's not.
I
at
think
all.
some teachers have to put in quite a lot of hours off.
It
I guess
depends where you
payroll.
are and what classes you teach. But if you go up in like difficulty, I guess, in the classes, and you like go above and beyond, and you teach a bunch, you get paid more too. Like you're valued in the school.
Yeah.
They try to keep you.
Yeah.
But by the sounds
So-
of some teachers, they spend a lot of Sunday evenings just grading tests and stuff.
Like going ham. That's why I thought about being like trying to do like English and stuff like that because I love like literature, novels, and poems and stuff like that. But I'm not reading essays for the rest of my life, dude. Especially the kids that don't care about the class, which I'm fine if kids don't care about the class. You know, that's just not what they're into sometimes,
Right.
especially at the high school level. Like, you can narrow it down to what you want to do at that point. I don't care. But I'm not reading the essays that you don't care to write. You know what I mean? I'll read good ones maybe, but I'll just guess on the other ones.
Yeah.
But Jacob, what about you? Because you've hopped around, but it's in the same area.
Yeah, I guess kind of always business marketing. I've been looking more into the real estate field, and the more I learn about it, the more I've been opening my eyes that it's not just being a real estate agent. I mean, you can be like a real estate investor, invest in these properties. You can do property management. You can be a contractor. You can be an inspector. I mean, there's so many things. You can be a wholesaler. You can do burrs. You can do house hacks. You can do flips.
You taught me about burrs. What was that again?
So burr is pretty much buy, refurbish or rehab, refinance, and then repeat. So it's just kind of a method.
So it's almost like flipping.
Yeah, it's kind of flipping. Or no, rent. I forgot a R. Rent.
Oh, okay.
So you want to buy it, refinance it, rent it out to a tenant that pays out your mortgage, refinance it by the bank, so you get another loan from the bank on its new value. Because sometimes if you do it right, you can increase a house's equity by quite a lot more than the money you put into it to rehab it,
Yeah.
and then you just go buy another one. Then you repeat it because now that you refinance it, get another loan, get another house.
Actually, something kind of cool that's happening around where I live is people are starting to build bigger and bigger houses and nicer houses out there. And so it's not necessarily happening everywhere because I live out by the lake. So it is a nice place to put it like a house out. Like at first it was small cottages and stuff like that, which was really quaint and cute and quiet. But now these people are coming in and building big houses, and I don't have a single problem with it because it's making it so much of a nicer place to just the atmosphere is so much different. And I think that's in a little bit that's going to start raising because 2 big houses have been put up recently.
That raises property value quite a lot.
Yes.
Being in a good neighborhood.
And you know what?
I mean, just our school district raises your property value by probably $50,000.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
insane.
yeah,
It's
it's a
insane.
great school. Yeah, and we have a bare lot that we own. Like nothing is in it, nothing's on it. I think we plan on putting up like a building on it, like a shop or whatever. But if that ever changes, that it's right smack dab in the middle of like the whole like neighborhood. If you kind of like average where all the houses are, right in the middle. It's next to one of the nice houses. It's not on the lake, I guess, but I mean, so like how much? It's like 1.5 acres, maybe an acre.
I mean, just farmland.
Yeah, just land.
Just farmland
nowadays.
right now is averaging $10,000 to $15,000 an acre.
Right.
But this
I
is
think it's
this
more
is
than
this is
that
bare land.
now.
There's no house, but there's no bad house on it either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 'Cause
So,
some of
like,
those houses
yeah.
I would be hesitant to buy
Lakefront property value,
over bare land.
probably $50,000 lot.
But I know a lot of people actually have rentals out there and that they operate. My relative had a lot before she decided to get out of it, and I think she just sold them or something. But I think here in a little while, as in like 5 to 10, 15 years, they're gonna start tearing them down and building like nicer cottages because some of the land plots in between houses you can't do much with, but you can make some nice houses there, like nice quaint. Either if it's for like a weekend or something, or if you just want to make a house there and like stay. They're nice. I think it's gonna get really, really, really nice out there in a few years. I'm excited.
Yeah. So I know my uncle, I call everyone my uncle that's older than me, but it's my step grandma's brother-in-law, I think.
Close enough.
Yeah, step grandma's
Just say
brother-in-law.
uncle.
Yeah.
Gunkle.
But he he built a little like village, like this beachside village up in St. Mary's Lake.
It looks awesome.
Yeah, so he built this little thing because he has a construction company and everything, so he had it built. Now he rents it out to people, and I can only imagine that thing's probably cash flowing
He's got to be
$15,000 to
raking it in.
$20,000 in rent a month.
Yeah. He's got to be raking
Absolutely
it
crazy.
I love that.
Actually, we're hopping on the train too because we're about to put a new porch in, like take our deck out, like renovate everything, get a nice awning, fan, TV. We're hopping on the trend. It's cool. And that place looked awesome. When you first showed it to me, I thought it was like in Florida or something. Like that's the kind of vibe you went for, and that's on
Yeah.
St. Mary's.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Midwest Ohio, so
It's
pretty cool.
I think we've ran through everybody.
Yeah. What else is there?
How
to
much
say?
time we got left? I was debating if we need to finish the story or not.
Yeah.
What story?
8 minutes.
Oh, what was the story?
The story that we cut off, we cliffhanged the first segment with.
yeah, that story about
Oh yeah.
Just go. Yeah. Just go.
So sad.
Luke
Yeah,
wants
just-
to hear
just-
it. Luke wants to hear it.
R.I.P.
All right.
we can go.
what is it?
So
I have no idea.
I was not there. Was I
What?
present for this?
Dude, give me a couple seconds. I kind of want to see if I can get it.
you have to be able to,
we
bro.
gotta roll into it, bro.
Yeah,
we were
just
talking about.
say it, bro. I have no idea.
Yeah, go ahead. Go
Starts
ahead.
with an F.
Fishing.
You just
What?
Go into. Just roll into it. Roll into it. Roll into
Ribbit.
it. Just.
Frogs, okay.
Yeah.
You don't know what I'm talking about still.
Crackling.
I know what he's talking about, and I wasn't even there.
campfire.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
That doesn't live in my mind all the time. It's one of my
No,
darker
I
moments.
haven't thought about this in like 2 years at least.
Yeah. But so, at scout camp, right? I don't know why. It was never me, always Devin.
It wasn't me. I wasn't the one that did it. We all like agreed.
You know
though.
who did it?
Luke Geisy.
Luke Geisy.
Luke.
My
I don't
man.
even remember. I don't want to even throw his name out there because I
I
don't know
will.
if he
I
was
will.
the one that did it.
I will.
But
He
We
did.
don't know who exactly
it's
all
not
did
terrible, bro.
it. But, so we would find
It's abhorrent.
frogs
It's
and
kinda
toads.
bad.
If a toad or frog would come up to us, right? Someone would catch it,
They extended
And-
their friendliness to us.
and we all made the collective decision, and we've done it a few times where we let the frog decide its fate. Where we set up, we get the fire right on the outside. We set up a nice like flat log that's not in the fire, like outside or along the ring, and we set the frog on there.
Probably
And-
close enough to boil.
No,
frog.
not at all.
Oh,
Not at all.
yes.
Because we put our hands on it and we set the frog and we make sure he stays there. Like it's not
Frogs have
hot
to
at
be
all.
Moisture, bro. They gotta be wet.
Yeah, bro. If
Yeah.
that thing gets dehydrated.
That
just
thing.
dies.
That's what
I
I'm saying.
swear I saw
Listen,
one
remember all the
steamy
ones
one
that
time,
never
and it's like,
moved?
well, I might as well just jump in now.
Yeah, remember all the ones that never moved and just sat there and
No,
fried to
They
death?
fried to
I
death.
was not there for those. I don't know. You guys.
It's
that's
so
morbid.
sad. That's
If
why
you
we
guys
think
did
it's
that.
bad.
Was.
We think it's bad because they just sit there. I don't think they get the energy to move.
Well, that was not me. I've
Yeah.
watched a couple
Talk about
where
Get kind of defensive.
we
here.
set it on the edge, and it's in a very mild, very fair spot. And we go, if it jumps probably this 60% of the side, or it was because the fire curved a little bit, whatever. If he jumps out this one side, he's free. He lives, he goes on, whatever, nothing happens. Or he can be an idiot and jump into the fire, and he made his own decision. And like all 3 times I watched, we set the frog down, it turned immediately, jumped right into the fire. And we're like,
It did.
Sorry, they've never seen fire before, Devin. They don't make campfires in
I
they
Toad
can still
Town.
register
Yeah.
pain and be like, hot, not good.
Are they already in the fire? I don't think they can jump out once they're in there, my
The
brother.
first one I
That's
was
what I'm
in.
saying.
The first time I think I encountered this, I was a newbie, so I was just like the little guy, like
didn't wanna
sitting
say
around,
nothing.
kind of just
I was so
watching.
intimidated. I felt
And
like
they
I was
set it down,
hopeless.
and I kid you not, it's like a quarter second. It makes a 90-degree turn, jumps straight into like a bed of embers, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my.
Like, dude,
It's brutal, dude. They
they
make
did
this,
it to themselves.
They make
though.
a horrible noise too. Like it's like
They did go. "Tss."
What? I've never heard that noise.
I remember distinctly one that Jacob said like they set this on the stones, right? And those stones had to been hot around like the bricks lining the fire.
Not the ones I saw, because I remember us having to like hold the frog in, like we'd cup our hand so it wouldn't jump away immediately. So we'd be like touching that rock and like holding
for
on
a
the rock.
frog, like I'm telling you, man, their skin's a bajillion
They're
times
cold
thinner than
blooded,
ours.
so everything around them is probably hotter.
They're cold blooded,
Right.
so they were chilling out in the cold on the ground, which is cold, especially at night with
Not
the
really,
fire.
boys.
Like you are lying,
Dude, they're in 100
Oh, you're
degree.
tweaking right now. Come on.
Devin.
Bro, they're in 100-degree humid rainforest. They're in like the Amazon in the dead
Yeah,
summer when it's
no.
hot and humid.
Those same frogs don't live in Ohio.
They're cold blooded, so
Yeah.
they adapt to the temperature around
There's
them.
tropical frogs that live in the Amazon, not Ohio.
Yeah, my brother.
Yeah, they're still cold-blooded. bro.
Anyways, weird situation. Feel bad for the frogs. Devin apparently doesn't. He has no remorse whatsoever.
I'm just saying, the few I saw, they've clearly made their decisions.
They're frogs.
And
That I think my
they're not robots. They can register. They can think.
I mean, I'm not gonna
No.
lie. I'm gonna be on Devin's side of
I
this.
don't
Like,
think frogs
if
know
they
what-
get they get the chance, they get to make their face.
whatever. Whatever.
If that dude jumps into
I'm
the
just saying,
fire,
frogs
it's
have
like,
never seen a
what
fire
are you
before,
doing?
bro. So I don't think they really understand. And if their body temperature is what is around them, they probably adjust a little bit to what's going on. So they don't know that the fire is so hot. Is what I'm saying.
It's their fault.
Okay. Well, Devin's made his stance. That's okay. I understand.
I'm just saying.
I don't think you're evil because of it. But we're gonna have to wrap it up on that note. You wanna?
Morbius in theaters now.
You know what? Ew. Isn't Morbius supposed to be? Oh, we can't talk about it. Sorry. We'll talk about it next time.
Let's have a 10-second moment of silence for Memorial Day weekend, by the way.
Oh, yeah,
It's
no-
the Sunday before Monday. All right, it's good enough. By the way,
would
real quick before we go, does anyone know what the deal with is white on Memorial Day? Are you not supposed to, or are you supposed to?
We're white.
Yeah, or is it
I
the
don't
day
know.
after?
I
I-
think you're supposed
Dude,
to.
I have no idea what you're talking
I
about.
think you're allowed to start fashionably wearing white after Memorial Day, like outside.
So don't wear it. Don't wear white on Memorial Day.
Mm.
You guys, you've not heard that before?
I've never
Like
heard that
white
before.
on Memorial Day and the day after.
I'll look it up.
No
I thought it was
idea.
just some
Really?
weird fashion thing. Like you're not supposed to. It's not like fashionably acceptable to wear
probably can't
white.
I thought it was more
until
like
after Memorial Day.
I thought it was more like a significant, like a
Yeah, I'm not
No,
sure
bro.
if there's something to do with it on that date. Like if
Like-
it's a
yeah,
thing
like-
of respect or
Right, right,
disrespect
right.
to wear white.
That's what I'm saying.
One way or the other.
I don't know, bro.
How much time is left?
Not much.
All right,
It's
we'll
still
just
recording, so
we'll just. I think we just wrap it up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
my
you guys so
thing's
much
not
for
loading.
listening.
We don't have Luke to give the
Yeah,
plugs,
it's
but
fine. I'll do it. Thank you guys so much for listening. This has been the 59th episode of Speaking Sporadically. Hit all the buttons you're supposed to. The like, comment, we'll reply. Like I promise you, if you comment, we'll hit you back. Like button, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, speaking_sporadically. TikTok should be bumping out some TikTok, speaking sporadically, and we'll catch you guys next week.
And don't forget to hit that notification bell on YouTube.
That'll work.
he's on it.